Hello from Kotor, Montenegro, country number 28 for me, and I am so excited to be here because this is arguably the most stunning, beautiful town on the entirety of the Adriatic. So there is so much to do, so much stunning scenery to see. You can walk through the old town and oh my god, it doesn't even feel like you're in the 21st century. It feels like you're going back to like the 1700s. So many great restaurants, shops. This town only has 1,500 people, but there are actually 2 cruise ships here today. One is a Royal Caribbean, and then the other one is an Azamara, and those ships combined are bringing 6,000 people here. I am not here on a cruise. I just happen to be here at the same time these 2 ships are here, so it's going to have a lot of cruisers here, but we're still going to be able to get a full, genuine feel of the sea. Let's get into it. One of the most incredible things, and this is what I noticed right away, is the stunning views that you get throughout. No matter where you go in Kotor, you will see the mountains just shoot up. It's like a valley. I don't want to make a comparison to the Norwegian fjords, but it kind of has that feel. Just the way that the town is situated down below, and it stretches out pretty much in like a straight line. So throughout the day, you will hear me talking about these views a lot. The thing I find the coolest about the mountains is that sometimes mountains are, have a slight incline, so you're able to build homes on it and it goes up. But no, here they literally just shoot up. So all the homes and buildings and everything are in the little valley right on the water. It just shoots up and there's nothing. Like there are some trees maybe going up, but it's like pure rock. It's time to check out the old town, also known as Stari Grad, because now we are inside the barriers of the castle, and you see these stone streets. Restaurants are lined up nonstop. There are so many of them along the twisty and turny roads, and it seems like you go through alleyways. There are so many different shops that you can go to selling really nice clothes. So many souvenir stores, of course. The one main thing, the tours. Tours. They are everywhere. I turn around and there's one right there, but because I'm here on a cruise day, it was packed, but it makes sense. Look how we're out in a big square right now, and then I go a little bit and we are in this alleyway. This is really what Kotor is known for, the feeling that you are brought back into the medieval times, the Venetian architecture and everything with it. From 1420 to the late 1700s, that was when the Venetians had control of this area, and they were the ones who built all of this and fortified it. If you take all of the city walls and put them in one straight line, it comes out to be over 2.5 miles, nearly 4.8 kilometers. Inside, you can find churches and homes which date back to the 12th century, which is crazy. Of course, it's not the exact same ones, right? I mean, things have been torn apart and rebuilt, but you know what I mean with that. Inside, there's St. Tryphon's Cathedral, and that has a Baroque style architecture. And in addition to the Venetian architecture, there are multiple other cultures that kind of come and have the blend, but yeah, overall though, it's mostly Venetian. It's really cool. It feels really old. That's about the history of Stari Grad. You see I'm outside it right now, and there's the entranceway, and you see the outside of the old castle. Walking alongside the outside part of it, you have a lot of different vendors, mainly selling different foods, ice cream, churros, sandwiches, chavapi. Yeah, literally from all different cultures, but it's really nice and it's really fun to walk through. Walking through here and then looking up and seeing the mountains, yeah, this does not feel like we're in a coastal town. But that's exactly what makes this so unique. In addition to the cruises, a lot of people who have boats who live alongside the Mediterranean in Adriatic will come and take a journey here and come here using their own boats. They can come and dock them here. You see some really nice ones right behind me. And in addition to that, if you want to rent one of these, there's also spots where you can rent some, take them out into the Gulf. Oh my god, I found the best shot in all of Kotor. Come out by the Aquarium and get this scenery because you're far enough out onto the Gulf where you can look in and see the town. And yeah, I know the cruise ship, a little bit ruining the shot a bit, but the Dinaric Alps coming and curving, and this is so stunning, and I am so lucky that it's such a nice day out too. Sometimes I look for thumbnail shots and they're hard to come across, but no, this is an easy one. This is hands down the best view in the entire city from sea level. Look at how clear the water is too. See, the water is so clear. Look at all the fish you can see. Let's go and feel the water. Oh, it's nice and warm. I just stumbled upon the most incredible free hike that there is here. I am stunned. Literally look up the ladders of Kotor and you will find a path that will take you here. You see it goes that way and the trail is continuing this way. But look, the Dinaric Alps and then these views that you are seeing right now, it is only going to get better. The path is gravel, but it's not a hard hike by any stretch. Anybody should be able to do this. The incline is slight and it's very windy. So yeah, even though you're hiking for maybe, I don't know how much long it'll take to the top, but maybe like 45 minutes to the top, who knows? But it's not one that you're going up a big incline. I'm willing to make an announcement. This is the most breathtaking view in all of Montenegro. From this vantage point, being able to see all of the orange roofs and the serene blue water and the gray rock with the green trees and the blue sky. You got some clouds stretching just straight out because right there, the mountain kind of like loops around. Tivat is on the opposite side of there. Oh my God, I love this. And also this hike, while I unfortunately don't have water to make it to the top, I found this very easy, very enjoyable. Even though I consider myself someone with very high fitness level, anybody should be able to do this. The incline is not much at all. And to get to this viewing point, it took me about an hour, not even, probably took me like 35, 40 minutes. I'm up alongside Kotor Beach right now, and it's a small beach, but it is really nice. It's not sand, it's more so these pebbles, but you can bring a towel and sit up alongside. You can go into the water. I felt the water, and it is really warm, and you get the stunning scenery. On this side, the side that's closer to the old town, you can actually rent chairs. It is very cheap. What is it? It's like €5 to rent a chair. You can get an umbrella too, and there are restaurants right alongside. There's a restaurant right there that has a little like dock. It's like a platform where it's like you're over the water on the platform and you're eating. The big industry here, tourism. Everything in this town revolves around that. So you can get your different boat tours. You can go snorkeling, scuba diving, jet skiing, kayaking, all of that. You can book your tour through the cruise line if you are taking a cruise here. Where's the other Royal Caribbean? There it is, right there. If you are here on a cruise, definitely only book it through the cruise line. But here there's also motorcycle tours, hiking tours, so many different things. But I don't even think you need to take a tour. I mean, if you're like me and you want to just wander around and relax on the beach side, that's something that you can definitely do, and you don't need a guide to have to give you the little historical lessons on everything. You can do a quick Google search. Even though Montenegro as a whole is a much cheaper country than the rest of Europe, and that's a trend that is throughout the entire Balkan region, in Kotor, you are spending your fine dollar, especially when it comes to tours. I mean, boat rides for an hour, that's like 60 to 80 euros per person, which is, yeah, you are paying the price of the Amalfi Coast. When it comes to pricing at the restaurants, you are going to be paying a lot. Things are rather expensive, at least in comparison to the rest of Montenegro. Price-wise, at the stands and the supermarkets, I'm finding to be really cheap, similar to the entirety of the Balkans, but it's when you go into the stores and the restaurants and the souvenir shops, that's where they hit you with that tourist price. There are some tours, though, that you can get for about an hour for like 20 euros per person, but the ones that are really expensive are those premium ones like the Blue Cave tour. Everything around here is very touristy, so sometimes it's like maybe get out of the old town to find some restaurants that the locals go to, but no matter where you go here, you're gonna be paying tourist prices. You gotta do exactly what I'm doing. There is a path that takes you alongside the entirety of the water, and you will be able to see everything, not only get the stunning views as you continue to walk, but walking alongside restaurants, and overall it's really enjoyable. To get to one side and back, it's a nice like hour 45-minute walk, and you get to see everything. The cool thing about the town is because of the way that the mountains are, it's really just a straight path. You don't need to worry about cutting inland or anything like that, or going up crazy hills. In terms of the old town and restaurants and things to do, everything is on the east side, but there are also homes and places you can stay on the west side. There is no ferry that kind of cuts across, so you're gonna have to go all the way around, but it's nothing more than like a 45-minute walk. There, it's a lot more quaint, and that's really where the residential area is. Quick stop, here's the aquarium. I actually don't know what type of marine life they have here, but it's right on the Gulf. So if you're into this, you can check this out. For the residents, it's mainly apartments, and there are some townhouses, but if you are within walking distance of the old town, you are in a complex. The townhouses really lie on the west side, so the opposite side of the Gulf. Besides the one main street, all the streets are much more narrow. Things are close together, but it's cool because it feels like you're walking through, I don't want to say alleyways because the buildings aren't overarching like that. Most they're 2, maybe 3 stories tall, but being able to walk through gives it much more of a, like, an intimate feel. It's crazy how you walk and then you look down the street and all of a sudden it's just the street, but then the mountain, the views that you get, even when you're not overlooking the Gulf, it's insane. A really underrated feature is right behind me, the palm trees and then the mountains behind it. Like, you always see palm trees in a coastal town, mountains far away from the coast, but here you have this weird combination of them together. This is the restaurant we ate dinner at last night. So picture it at night and looking at this. You can get a great Airbnb in the old town for 3 nights. Where I am right now, it only costed 260 euros for 4 people. And look at it right in the middle of it within the castle and the views, the mountain in the background. One thing that I'm really wondering is how much of what's here is genuine and how much is really just played up specifically for the tourists. I mean, the scenery is stunning and the history here is immense, but everything that is preserved, I assume that it's preserved only because the tourists come here and they love to get pictures taken, and really the only reason why this town still exists is because of the tourism industry. So if it's kind of played up a little bit just because of people coming here, specifically the cruisers, I don't blame Kotor for doing that. It was just a thought though. Everything here does feel really, really genuine and I love it. So just because I said that, don't think that I am thinking that. I've been to a lot of places that they really only play things up for tourism, but here I'm not getting the vibe. The climate here, it's warm, it's humid, and I love the palm trees that are throughout. That's how you know you are in the Mediterranean climate. But even though we're in the Mediterranean, during the months between November to March, it can get a little chilly. I'm talking like 10 to 14 degrees Celsius, like 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The best times to come are really between April and probably like mid-October. Here we are inside the Kamelija shopping center, and the reason why I like this place is it gives you a spot to come in and get out of the heat. All air conditioned, but there's food courts and there are some shops. You know, it's a regular indoor shopping mall. Nothing crazy about it, just 3 levels. If you want to get the best view of the entire town, hike up to the fortress of Kotor, and it is 4,000 feet above sea level, and you hike up literally on the remains, the ruins of the old fortress. This whole area that's behind me used to be fortified, but now obviously since things have broken down, but there's enough that there's a path that you can hike up it, almost like kind of like the Great Wall of China, like a little bit like how you're walking up that. But if you want to be able to take this hiking path, it costs 15 euros, but the view I've heard from the top is insane. Let's just give you some facts about Kotor. The Bay of Kotor is often mistakenly referred to as a fjord, but it's actually a ria, which is a submerged river canyon. Its location has been strategically important throughout history because of how it is within the mountains, but how it's also right on the water as well, leading straight into the Adriatic. So very easy for protection, but also trade. But also because it's not right on the Adriatic, you have to go through some more waterways to get here. It makes it rather difficult to invade. Throughout history, this area has been controlled by the Byzantines, Venetians, Austro-Hungarians, and it was a part of Yugoslavia. Montenegro's history is very interesting when it comes to that. When the fall of Yugoslavia happened, they became Serbia and Montenegro. That was one state. And in 2006, Montenegro became its own independent state. In 1979, there was a horrible earthquake that hit here, which caused millions of euros in damage, probably tens of millions. But it was rebuilt and rather restored, especially the old town, and that helped contribute to its status of being a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This mountain range was created billions of years ago when the Eurasian and African tectonic plates submerged. They have bikes that you can rent for only €2 per hour. I keep getting the most incredible shots, but then I have the cruise ship that is right in the way to ruin the shot. Oh well. Kotor is in a little bay that leads out to the Adriatic Sea. The bay is called the Gulf of Kotor. It's really not a gulf, but you get the point. On the opposite side, right behind, these mountains are right behind me. On the opposite side of it, which it's literally technically in distance only like 3.5, 4 miles, but in terms of drive wise, you have to curve throughout the mountains. It takes about 20 minutes to get to Tivat, and Tivat is a little bit smaller in terms of touristy things. It's very nice to be able to walk through. I did it at nighttime, so if you're here for multiple days, definitely check out Tivat. And where we are about 10 miles as the crow flies from the Croatian border, and about an hour and a half car ride from Dubrovnik. They have buses that run. I'm doing the opposite. I'm not going to Dubrovnik. I'm going to Skoder, Albania right after this. And again, it's just like a 2-hour bus ride. Buses in this part of the world are really easy. If you want to book a bus ticket, literally go to Bus Tickets for Me. That's the website, and that's how they do it here. If you're flying in here and you're flying into Tivat, which is what I did, let me tell you, you're going to get some stunning views from the scenery from the flight. But when you actually get into Kotor and you are on the ground, it is unlike anything that you have seen. While both Tivat and Kotor are in the Dinaric Alps, Kotor is a little more situated within it, so you have a much stronger geological contrast, and here is where you're going to get more of the breathtaking scenery. That's partly also the reason why here is a lot more expensive and the cruises come here instead of Tivat. One thing that you should know is that the feral cat population here is huge. They are everywhere. They will be walking through the restaurants. They will be in the restaurants. They sometimes even will jump on your table. So just be cautious of that if you are not a fan of cats. See here, look, you got 3 that are right there. A big misconception here is that you can't drink the tap water. That's complete nonsense. You can absolutely drink it. I filled up my water bottle with tap water and I've been drinking it this whole time and I've been perfectly fine. My time in Kotor, Montenegro has come to an end, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed my time here. This place is stunning, absolutely stunning, with the mountains and the sea and everything with it. The old town Stari Grad, the restaurants, just the overall vibe, the oldness, everything comes together so incredibly. You gotta say that if you want to spend a weekend here, absolutely do it. Kotor is where you need to go. Perhaps, is it the most underrated destination on the entirety of the Adriatic? I am willing to potentially say yes. You know, it's not necessarily my type of vibe. I am not somebody who enjoys a relaxing vacation that kind of takes it easy, which is exactly what Kotor is. I'm someone that's much more big city, excited to see what's on the go and nonstop. So you're gonna have to check out my video on Podgorica, which is the capital of Montenegro. And also, you have to subscribe. But I am so glad I came here. I understand why people say Montenegro, and specifically here, is stunning. So Kotor, peace out.